Hi guys, I'm making this video because I just read one too many times in this moment of crisis in American history that I am an idiot, an imbecile, illiterate, and uneducated because I am in a state of alarm over my freedom. So I would like to say some things about that. I have some thoughts. I have some thoughts as an American. Everybody who is American should be having serious thoughts about this election, not because we're ignorant, but for the opposite reason, because we are thoughtful and we are observing not what we're told by a ministry of propaganda, but by our own observations, our own first-hand observations. So I'd like to walk you through my experience in my county. This is not the same experience someone would have in New York, nor is it the same experience anyone would have in El Paso County, Texas. This is my county. It's different. We have limited government. We have local elected officials. We have a power system that is supposed to put the bulk of the power in our republic. It's not a democracy, it's a republic. The bulk of the power is supposed to lie in localities, a federation of states, not in the federal government, not on one person, the president, definitely not with the ministry of propaganda that our media has become. I'm tired of them painting me as an idiot, and I'm tired of being told that I'm an idiot by the people who unquestioningly receive the nonsense, spin, and propaganda that they are putting out there. If you don't have questions, serious questions about the integrity of this election, then you don't understand something about it. So let's look at my numbers real quick. This is what I want to show you. I have a whiteboard here. The first number I'm going to write is 739,968. That's the population of my county. It's almost 740K. All right, we're about to go on lockdown again. Now, I can't take the time to go into the interplay between this election and these measures coming down from state government that have violated our freedom for 8 months now. 8 months, 15 days to flatten the curve? No, 8 months, leading right up to the biggest election of any of our lifetimes. I don't have time to outline all the ways that those two interplay, but just one example. Because of COVID, they were allowed to change election rules. We have free and fair elections because of very carefully thought out and fought for rules that govern every single piece of it. Well, those have been changed unilaterally by our government, by the Secretary of State, with the help of the governor, or vice versa. So that, for instance, one example, there's a rule about a person from each party being present when ballots are picked up and drop off. COVID, they brushed it out of the way. There is no accountability there. Now one person can pick up and drop off. If you don't understand what that means, I'd like to ask you to take your bank account, empty it, and just have someone, just one person, just find a volunteer to transport it for you without you sitting there to watch what they do. There you go. Now you got it? Those rules matter. They've been wiped out of the way using the excuse of COVID. You know what else has been wiped out of the way? Is my individual liberty. There are so many aspects of loss, but you've all experienced them as well, particularly for our children, that I don't have to go into them. Right now, I just want to show you these numbers, okay? 740,000 in our county. Do you know how many deaths we've had? This is since the beginning. We have had 208 deaths. 208. 208 deaths out of 740. Let's find out what our chances here in my county are of dying of COVID. That puts me at 0.02%. Sorry, not percent. 0.0002 is my chance of dying of COVID. Here, actually, that's not accurate. Do you know why? Because out of those 208 deaths, guess what? 164 of them, 164 out of 208 were over the age of 70. 70 plus, over the age of 70. Do you know what that works out to? That works out to about 80%. About 80%. If we include 60 plus, guess what? 187. We're all the way up to 90%. Now, if I were 35 and I tried to do this math and say, what are my chances of dying here in my county? Guess what? It would be 0 because no 30-year-olds have died in El Paso County. But I'm not. I'm in my early 40s. So let's look at my particular. Let's be more specific to me. Given that 90% of our deaths were over the age of 60. Remember, our retirement age average, just anecdotally, most of us call retirement age 65. So let's look at the workforce, not the entirety of it, but even just my little part of it, okay? Because I'm busy. I'm so busy. I have 4 kids. They all have sports. They all have school. They all have music. They all have things to get to, things that have been stolen from them. I have a business. I have, you know, you're in the same boat. We're the workforce, okay? This is tragic. This is tragic. These 200 deaths are tragic, or 187. They're not our workforce, which is good news. Have you heard that good news lately? No, you've heard alarm and control from our governor. At least that's what I've heard. Okay, so let's look at my chances, all right? I'm in the 40 to 49-year-old age bracket. So how many deaths are there since this all started 8 months ago? 7 deaths. 7 deaths out of a population of, in our county, we have 81,000 people in their 40s. 7 out of 81,000. So let's calculate my chance of dying. Give me a second. Oops, that's wrong. That's wrong. I need another 0. We've got, here's my decimal. 0, 0, 0, 0, 8%. That's my chance. That's my chance of dying of COVID. Do you know what my chances of losing liberties are? 100%. 100%. That is why this election matters. And if you are not concerned for the integrity of the counting of the votes, then you are not somehow superior. You are not paying attention. I have one last thing to say. Propaganda is the primary tool of an authoritarian state. Not tanks, not guns, propaganda. We don't have tanks and guns coming against the citizens of the United States to force us, not yet. But we are covered. Look at this. We've been held, constrained under so many mandates. I've never seen the like of it in my life. For numbers like this for 8 months. That is the power of propaganda. We are absolutely in the first stage of heading towards authoritarianism. When that sort of information is so widely disseminated that people who are my friends are sitting and calling me an idiot for thinking for myself, standing up for freedom, and demanding that there be accountability to our Constitution, to our Bill of Rights, to all of the laws that have been set up to make sure we have free and fair elections. I am not an idiot. I know propaganda when I see it, and our freedom is on the line. 0.00008 chance of dying of COVID. 100% chance that my freedoms are being lost.